The film opens with a scene in a motel where the female protagonist, Alice, receives a call from her husband, Eric, and goes into the bathroom to talk. It's 2 a.m., and Eric can't sleep, eagerly awaiting his wife's return. Reminding her of their obstetrician's appointment, Alice assures him she'll be back on time. As they hang up, another man enters the bathroom. It's John, Alice's colleague and best friend. The two are secretly having an affair behind Eric's back. They check out of the motel and begin their journey home. Alice is currently the deputy communications manager at a pharmaceutical company, and they've just attended an important conference. Furthermore, Alice is having difficulty conceiving. Eric is always encouraging and supportive to help her overcome this. Suddenly, the car's fuel gauge shows they're running low, even though John insists he filled up the tank the day before. Luckily, there's a gas station nearby, so they pull over. John was outside filling up the gas tank while Alice went into the store to buy a coffee. We can understand why the car was running out of fuel so quickly. As it was leaking, John had a strange feeling and glanced at the billboard, which coincidentally read, "God is nowhere." Alice went to pay but couldn't find any cashier, so she left the money on the counter. Shortly after, Alice noticed blood splattered on the opposite wall. Frightened, she rushed to the door just as a gunshot rang out. Then came another burst of gunfire. Luckily, Alice was only wounded in the arm and managed to take cover behind the counters. She tried to call for John's help, but he was outside in the car with the music playing loudly and didn't hear anything. Alice tried to stop the bleeding and quickly looked around to see who was attacking her. A bullet narrowly missed her, and she realized the bullet was coming from the billboard. A sniper was hiding there. Alice remembered her phone had fallen on the floor and tried to reach for it, but before she could, the phone was shot to pieces, forcing her to find another way. Alice looked at the security camera screen and realized the store had an emergency exit at the back. Suddenly, a man's voice came through the walkie-talkie on the counter, searching for someone named Amelia. Alice knew that running over to retrieve it would be tantamount to walking into a trap, so she tried to lure him in. She tossed several packets of snacks into the air, giving her a chance to grab the walkie-talkie. John, waiting outside, noticed the car was running low on gas again. He went outside to check and found out the reason. He then went inside to tell Alice. Meanwhile, Alice tried to contact the man on the walkie-talkie, asking him to call the police, but she only managed to say a few words before John came in. He was immediately shot in the neck, and then the killer shot him in the head. Witnessing the incident only increased Alice's panic, causing her to accidentally drop her walkie-talkie. She struggled to retrieve it using a mop. The man was looking for his wife, Amelia, but Alice said there was no one there. After Alice asked him to call the police, the man complied. They said they would arrive at the gas station in 15 minutes. Alice felt a great sense of relief, but only for a few seconds before a triumphant laugh rang out from the other end. It turned out she had been talking to the killer all along. He had obtained some information, including Alice's full name. She was now in a dilemma. She couldn't run away, nor could she just sit there waiting to die. Alice spotted the light switch and tried throwing nearby objects to turn it off, hoping to reduce the killer's visibility, but it was quite difficult to do. Then she discovered these shelves had wheels, so it was easy to move them, using them as cover, carefully advancing towards the light switch. Everything was shrouded in silence, while Alice tried to contact others via walkie-talkie. But this place was deserted, with only her and the sniper. And there was one more person, Amelia, his wife. Suddenly, Alice noticed a body at the checkout counter. It was Amelia. The killer also revealed that he had murdered his wife because she had cheated on him. Hearing this, Alice felt a pang of guilt. She still didn't know why she was being hunted. Or perhaps it was just bad luck, stepping into the crime scene at the wrong time, and the killer wanted to cover his tracks. Alice didn't give up, thinking of another way to escape. She approached John, took his car keys, and turned on the hazard lights, hoping someone would see her. But her plan was immediately thwarted by several gunshots. The killer contacted Alice, telling her to voluntarily come out, promising she wouldn't suffer too much pain. But she ignored him, letting him babble on, and used a bottle of glue to seal the wound on her arm. She also found some painkillers. Gradually regaining her composure to continue fighting, Alice attached a mirror to a long stick, using it to get a wider view without revealing herself. Just then, a car pulled up at the gas station. As the person got in, Alice gestured for them to duck down or they'd be blown off their heads. After they were safe, they spoke. The man's name was Doug, Amelia's boyfriend and colleague, who was there to relieve him. So this was the man Amelia was having an affair with, the main reason the killer opened fire. Alice told Doug to call the police immediately, but he'd left it in his car. And what Doug revealed next was even more surprising. He insisted Amelia was never married. So the sniper had lied. However, Alice suddenly remembered that since Doug appeared, no more shots had been fired. This made her suspect that the person in front of her was the killer. Doug vehemently denied it, telling Alice to try contacting him, threatening that she had called the police to see how he would react. But the killer remained completely silent, creating an incredibly tense atmosphere. Alice then asked Doug to go outside to get his phone, using the car as a shield, while she stayed inside to distract him. If Doug's story was true, he seemed frightened by the idea, as it was too dangerous. But after some persuasion, Doug reluctantly agreed. The plan was quite successful when Doug got into the car, but the phone was on the holder on the other side of the seat. In the end, both the phone and Doug's head were blown up. Alice was desperate and regretted forcing him to his death. The sniper later contacted her again, claiming she was also a killer like himself. He then continued rambling on about his stories. He also knew that Alice worked at a pharmaceutical company, blaming her drugs for killing many people. Alice said that even though she only worked in media, she couldn't escape the killer's judgment. He said she had spread misinformation. It seemed the killer was referring to the global pandemic a few years ago and the conflicting opinions about vaccines. He found a lot more information about Alice, claiming she was selfish, had risen through the ranks by dishonest means, and had falsely accused someone of sexually assaulting her, causing that person to lose their job and be unable to pay for their daughter's medical expenses. He also cursed the government, racism, and many other things. Meanwhile, Alice saw the umbrellas and used them to block the killer's view, creating a path for her to run to the emergency exit. Everything went smoothly until the final step. The door was locked. She tried to break it but failed. Now another car arrived to refuel. But when the driver's credit card didn't work, he left. The killer didn't shoot him, proving he only killed those who entered the scene or discovered his plan. Alice was exhausted, pleading with the killer to spare her, as they were complete strangers and she hadn't done anything to him. She also revealed that she was infertile, causing tension in the marriage. Alice's entire life had been a long period of satisfying men, her biological father, Eric, and John, but that wasn't enough to move him. Suddenly, a police car sped by, giving Alice a glimmer of hope before speeding past. However, Alice seized the opportunity and sneaked out of the store, gradually approaching John's car. The sniper had completely lost track of her. Alice slowly opened the car door to get inside, but gunshots rang out. With no other choice, she had to run back into the store, unfortunately injuring her leg. Alice writhed in pain and gradually fainted. She was then awakened by the killer's voice. When she regained consciousness, Alice tried to treat her wound, ignoring the man's hateful words about the world and humanity. She also found a box belonging to an employee named Henry. Apparently, he had been fired a few weeks earlier, although his belongings were still there, and he had a daughter. Alice then took a hacksaw and tried to cut the lock. In her haste, she injured her hand. In pain, Alice spoke to the killer, still not understanding why he was trying to kill her. She called him Henry, showing sympathy for his life. She suspected he had lost his job and had a seriously ill daughter who couldn't afford treatment. But the killer asked who Henry was. Just then, another car pulled up to refuel. An older man got out and sensed something was wrong. He approached Doug's car and saw his body. The man was immediately shot in the back. Worse still, his wife discovered the incident and ran out to check. Alice, inside, tried to signal for help, but it was too late. The woman had already met the same fate as her husband. Even more horrifying was the fact that a little girl was inside. Having witnessed the brutal murder of her grandparents, Alice begged the killer to spare the child. He replied that he would have done so long ago if he wanted to. The killer asked Alice if she was willing to sacrifice her own life for the girl. Alice agreed, and he told her she had 2 minutes to get the child out. She quickly signaled for the girl to escape onto the main road. But after a short distance, the girl ran back into the store with Alice. There was no other way. Alice had to find a way to get them both out as quickly as possible. The killer began climbing down the billboard to finish his job. After a while, Alice managed to cut the lock on the emergency exit, but realized the rolling door wouldn't work. Now Alice had no choice but to confront the killer. She told Cindy to hide in a corner, instructing her to only come out when she heard her voice, and to sing her favorite song whenever she felt scared. The sniper had arrived and entered the store. He cautiously walked around, searching for prey. As he walked, the killer told Alice that he might be someone hired by her husband to take revenge for the deception, or a colleague she had falsely accused of harassment to steal her job, or he might be a father who had lost his daughter to drugs produced by Alice's company. After tricking the killer, Alice attacked him from behind with a sharp object. She also stabbed him in the shoulder. But it wasn't enough to kill him. The two struggled amidst numerous gunshots. Despite her best efforts, Alice collapsed right in front of Cindy. The killer approached the rolling door and had the key to activate it. He then located Cindy, but before he could grab her, Alice, still alive, attacked the killer again. This time, Alice had the upper hand, and she pulled him down beneath the hydraulic press. After starting the machine, she tried to remove his mask, but the killer clung to the mask and was crushed. While Alice still didn't know who her pursuer was or why. Exhausted, she breathed her last. That was also when dawn broke. Only Cindy survived the horrific attack by the psychopathic killer. Who do you think he really was, and what was the motive for this shooting? Let me know in the comments. And now, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.